Alright guys, new bike time. Got a KTM 690 Supermoto. The reason I bought it was because I've been on a Supermoto for a while, and I wanted to do some stunts, maybe some wheelies and some stoppies, and just go from there and see if I like it. I looked at the other bikes, the smaller ones like the DRZ 400 and DR650 and the KLX and the Honda and stuff. They like the Enduros, the Eco Supermoto also, and basically the thing I didn't like about all of them is they weren't good on the freeway, basically, whereas this bike will do like 120 on the freeway if you wanted to. And so like commuting is going to be a major piece of my use case here. And I didn't want to drop one of these bikes over here that I put a lot of effort into to make look really nice, and they're super fun to ride around and that sort of thing. And the reason I ended up with this bike is because I got it at a really good price. It's a 2023 KTM 690 SMCR. It's only got 700 miles on it, and I thought it would be clapped, honestly. When I saw the price, I'm like, this thing, there's got to be something wrong with this. But I test rode it already once. It runs fine. I can't find any issues with it. Gave it the once over. It's got new oil in it. I got it from a dealership too, which is even crazier considering the price I got. It's got the coolants are good. Brakes, clutch, everything works. It's got the previous owner had put a bash plate on it, tank grips on the side, and it's got the spools in the back. And so I've ordered a bunch of protection, which I'll be putting on for like axle sliders and case protection and the actual engine guards. And I'm not going to do a whole lot to it cosmetically other than get rid of the mirrors and the tail and fix the tail. I'm not going to use an expensive tail tidy. I'm just going to use the standard one. You just put the plate on the rear fender there and get rid of the stock and activate the light, because I think I might be dropping it, and I'm not going to be dropping it on purpose, but there's a chance it's going to get dropped when I'm practicing stuff, and I want to kind of keep it in a decent shape, but I also want to add some value to it for if I decide not to keep it. We'll see, but I'm liking it so far, so I'm pretty stoked. The previous owner clearly put some stickers on it, and they don't match on either side. It's kind of like a do-it-yourself sticker kit. It's not horrible, but you know, I'll be removing those. I think it'll improve the looks. And it's got some surface scratches, and I think it fell over once. I can see there's some chips, a little like really tiny imperfections on the steel on the left side, and the hand grip on the hand guards, and on the swing arm. But it doesn't look like it crashed at speed. It looks like it just like fell over. It's not sliding scratches. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go over some of the stuff I'm doing on it for the initial setup. So I'm gonna start with the tail tidy. I'm gonna activate that hidden light and get rid of the stock. All right, guys. First thing I'm gonna do is remove these 4 bolts here, and then these 2 right here on the back fender, and I'm going to pull off the stock and disconnect the current license plate light. Alright guys, that was 6T30 Torx. The ones that are on the underside are different sizes in the front and the back here, so make sure that you, if you ever want to put this back on, make sure you put the short ones farthest to the back. So I'm just going to unplug this, and it'll be off. Alright guys, it came out pretty easy. It was just a little push-in tab and slide it right off. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the seat off using this little ring right here, little pull ring, and we'll start taking off the back plastics. Alright, so there's one more bolt right up in here, and it is a number 8 hex. I went ahead and put these ones back in just to store them. Alright, so now it should just be an up like that, and don't lose these. Alright guys, got the cover off. Now I'm going to be unclipping this and just seeing what we got in here in this mess, and finding out which cables I got to splice. Alright guys, so These two are the turn signals, which are fine. Actually, I don't really mind the stock turn signals on this, and if I end up dropping it, I don't want to break anything really nice. So I'm just going to leave these kaboingers on there. They're not actually that big. And this is the brake light, license plate light connector. And what we have to do, there's like a hidden light inside of this thing that will play down onto this fender where I'm going to attach the license plate. And I believe what I have to do is jump the white wire to the green wire. I think this one's the green one. I am not so good on color, but it looks a little bit brighter than this one here. So I think I have to jump these two, but I'm going to go consult some documentation real quick and verify that, and then I will jump them. Alright, it is the white and green wire, and I'm going to do it on the plug end that's attached to the light itself, not the one that's coming out of the bike. So I should probably unplug this while I do it. So I'm going to plug this, and then I'm going to put a splicer on between, I believe this one's green, and this one is white, and I will just join them together. Okay, went ahead and I unplugged this, just for caution, I guess. I'm going to use one of these little connectors here. Got a bag of them from Amazon. Basically, it splices two wires. You just put one in each one, fold this over, and clamp it down, and it splices them together. So, put these in here. Get each in their own channel. Alright. I had to clean this thing out a little bit. There was some flash inside one of the channels. Alright, it looks right to me. Put this over. I think I need scissors to really do this right. Not scissors, but... Alright, looks like it's clamped together right. So these things should be spliced now. Let me plug them in and I'll test the light. Alright, you can see it work. There's the little license plate light right there. So I'll go ahead and put the top back together, and then we'll work on attaching the plate. Alright, went ahead and I taped this off with electrical tape. Cover everything up, shove it back in here. Now it's time to put the plastic back on. What's going on is there are 3 hooks on this, and one of them goes right in here. There's one that goes in this plastic side, and this plastic side. Put it on, slide it up. Okay, also, you're going to have to remove the fuel tank before you slide this back on, because it's totally in the way and you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to get all 3 clips in at the same time. So, alright, I'm just going to slid these 2 little thread holders back in, and then I'm going to put the screws in, and I'm going to do the screw on the bottom, and then I'm going to do the license plate. Alright, went ahead and put that last bolt up in there. I actually totally sure it needed to come out in the first place, but oh well. So, and I've taped off that wire that was hanging from the stock. I'm just shoving it up in here. Pulled out this grommet because it wouldn't go up in there with it in. Put this grommet back, and then that's that. Alright. Alright, but I bought the whole license plate. This is KTM plate holders, plastic. Just got off of Amazon. Just going to go ahead and line it up dead center here, and mark some holes to drill. And then I'm going to use some of these screws that it came with, just figure out what works best to attach this, and then it's got holes for the plate. I can kind of see the existing holes through here, but they're too big for any, like, they need like a super washer, which isn't in the bag. Alright, so I'm just doing this. I'm using those holes to help me get a perfect lineup. So they're kind of helpful for that. Yeah, that's it. Alright, got my 3 holes drilled, and I'm just going to bolt in the plate holder. Alright, and that's it, all bolted together, plate on it. So, gonna move on to the mirrors next. Alright, for mirrors I got these super special Amazon, I don't care if they break, snap-on mirrors kind of thing. But they got pretty good rotation, so it'll be good. And these, when I drove around I couldn't see anything out of these, so this can only be an improvement. Alright, I'm gonna screw these off. Alright, now I'm putting the caps for to fill the holes that the mirrors came out of. You're going to want to swab out these holes with a Q-tip before you start, because these things won't even go in at all until I clean them. So. Alright, the mirrors are on there. They don't look that bad for like a Amazon $18 special. I'll link all this stuff in the description that I'm using. So now I'm going to move on. I have a Rottweiler fuel dongle, which I'm going to put on. It's a real simple fix. It's supposed to be good for like the lower RPMs and stuff to smooth it out. So I'm going to throw that on there. Alright, on the left side of the bike, you probably don't even have to remove plastics to do this, but this dongle right here is where you're going to plug in the fuel dongle for the Rottweiler. And this is what the dongle looks like, just a real small thing. This cable coming out the top of it, it runs to the front to the O2 sensor that's in the exhaust. I'm not going to totally remove that cable because I might end up putting this back, I don't know. I just want to go ahead and change it out now. But I'm going to take this bottom part off and plug the dongle into there, and that blocks out the O2 sensor. Alright, that was pretty easy. Just have to go in and reach in on this bottom one and pull this flange back, push it back. And I'm just going to stick the O2 sensor into here. Or the fuel dongle. Alright, put the fuel dongle in there. It's just a real small little plug. And I'm just going to shove this back up in here. And that's that. Also for the plate, I am using reflecting license plate holder bolts. Some places you have to have a reflector on the back, and Ohio is one of those places. So that's like the slimmest, most tidy way to do it, I think. So now I'm going to move on to removing some of these stickers with the heat gun. Hopefully they come off. They don't really mean anything to me. You know, I got stickers on the Z900, but it's all like stuff I use. So it kind of has meaning to me, at least. But these don't mean anything, and also they don't match. So, get started with that. Alright, I'm going to go for this one here first, because I don't even know what it means. So, it's coming off. Alright, these are all coming off super easy. If you ever are in doubt when you want to take a sticker off, do not use a razor blade. Use a heat gun. Try that first, because I learned that the hard way with the Royal Enfield when I was trying to paint the tank. Like that. Okay guys, so this is going to be setting the suspension, because I really don't know where it's at, or I didn't know where it was at when I got the bike, and so I'm going to show you what I did. Basically I set everything to the comfort mode, and so what you have here on the front fork is compression and rebound. You just click them all the way clockwise as far as they'll go, and you back them off 20 on each side for comfort mode on these bikes. Underneath the seat there's a chart on how to get into each mode for each setting. So that's for the front. Okay, for the rear shock, you've got this screw here. It's the same deal. This is the compression for the low speed. It's the screw. What you want to do is just turn it all the way clockwise and back it off 20 if you want to get into comfort.
That's what I'm starting with, so that's what I did with that one. And then there is a hex bolt around it. It's the smaller hex. It's just the one that this brass screw is just set into. That is going to be your high-speed compression. And what you want to do with that is turn that clockwise as far as it'll go. And then to get into comfort mode, you just take it 2 complete turns back. Alright, and for rebound on the main shock, down at the bottom of the bike, right behind the left foot stand there, is a brass fitting. Take a long screwdriver, poke it in there, and turn it all the way to the right, and then back it off 20 if you want to get into comfort mode. And that's how I level set my suspension, removed anything that was already in there. I haven't done nothing with the preload yet. I don't have a feel for the bike enough to know what to do with that yet, so I may or may not be adjusting that later. Alright guys, got the bike all cleaned up, got the stickers off of it, got the tail tidy on, got it kind of the way I want it to look for now. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the crash equipment install. I'm going to start with the crash bars. This is the kit, the OEM kit. It's hard to find the instructions to install these, so I will link directly to it in the description. Basically you get a couple bars, and there's not a whole lot of pieces to it. A couple bars, like 4 bolts, 4 spacers, and some little stopper end cap things. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the installing this and just get it done. Alright guys, so first step is to just mount these ceiling plugs into the open ends of these 2 pieces. Alright guys, step 1 is to remove these 2 T45s and to remove this number 13 a nut, and on the other side is a number 8 hex that you're going to have to use to brace this piece so it doesn't spin while you're turning it. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and loosely mount the left side here, and what you do is you take this one little bushing thing here, and you just slide it in this top one, and then we're going to put the bolts in just of these top 2. Alright, so these are in loosely, just got some play still. Then we go on the other side, remove these same 2 bolts on the other side, and also pull the rod completely out that's holding up the engine. I also put a jack underneath the engine, holding it up just in case. I don't think anything's going to happen, but... Alright, so on this side, when I got the... on the other side, I got these 2 bolts out. And that final thing, the final bolt down at the bottom, it moves pretty easy, but you have to get a little tap. So I just had to go in there with this little metal thing, just kind of drift it a little bit, just take a slight tap. Alright, everybody, I got the these 2 bolts on both sides mounted up. They come with thread locker on them. So use one, also they're longer, so make sure you use ones with the kit. Okay, so now I'm going to be running the new engine mount bolt from the right side of the bike to the left like this. So the cap side should be on the right side, and you want to have the washer, one washer on the outside, and then it's going to be right up against the orange part of the new crash bars. And then you're going to slide this, you're going to have a washer in between the orange and the engine. So this is going to be right up against the engine, old engine mounting area, and right here is going to be the orange flange. I'll show you when I get it done. I don't know if that what I just said makes sense or not, but. Alright guys, you can kind of see what I did here. So the rod's coming through, the bushing's right here, right after the orange flange. And probably the easiest way to do this with the bushings is just put them in place, because there's a little seat for them. Make sure you have enough, make sure you haven't tightened the 2 sides too much. You can just slide the bushings into a little slot where they belong, and then you just run the rod through. Alright, so it took some light tapping with a mallet to get it all the way through, but that's it. And so now what you want to do is take the other washer that came with the kit, put it on there, and then use the original nut. Just put it on there. Get everything mocked up loosely. Alright guys, I have everything in right now, hand tight, to where I can't turn it anymore without leverage. And every piece of this gets gets tightened to 45 Newton meters, and you're supposed to do the center one first. Alright guys, so that is the crash bars. They're all torqued down. I think they look pretty natural on the bike. Now I have to do the axle sliders and the case covers. And I also got some orange KTM touch-up paint coming too, so I'll link that if you guys need it. Alright guys, so I'm now going to do the front axle slider, and these look pretty simple. Basically what we're going to be doing is sliding a rod through the center of the axle, and then either side of the rod is going to have one of these plastic pucks on it. And this is basically what it's going to look like. So this is the puck for the right side of the bike. After we remove everything blocking the hollow axle, we're just going to be sliding this in from the other side. It's got a screw hole here for one of the screws. On the left side of the bike, we're going to use this new axle nut that came with the kit that's hollow. We're torquing that down to 33 foot-pounds. And then after that's on, we'll be putting this puck over top of the axle nut on this side and screwing it in. And that's basically it. Alright, so once you get the front axle nut out, there is a small plug in there that takes a number 10 millimeter socket. Alright, I've assembled the right side. It's going to slide through this way. I just put that screw in there and I Loctited it a little bit. Alright, I slid the rod through, and I'm going to use the provided axle nut and torque it down to 33 foot-pounds. Alright, got it torqued down, so now I put the puck on here. Just that. All I got to do now is put this screw in, and with a little bit of Loctite. Alright, and that's the front done. These are from Bagaros Performance in Slovenia. They shipped really fast, so that's where I got these particular front sliders. Don't go nuts tightening them down. That whole assembly we put in there is not load bearing at all. It's literally just sitting there and waiting to get crashed on. So, alright guys, I got the bike flipped around. This is the rear tire, the right side of it, and the axle nut is on the other side on the rear tire. But before I continue, I want to say, so the outer hex of the axle bolt on the front is 27 millimeter. But when you buy the front axle sliders, you want the 24 millimeter version, which is the threads that are going into the bike. They sell 20s and 24s, and make sure you select 24 for the front. Okay, so for the rear, it's pretty much the same plan as the front. I am using T-Rex axle sliders for the rear because they stick out a little further in the rear. They're about the same in the front. And this thing, I'm going to remove this nut here and slide them through just like the other ones. This is the assembly that's going to be coming through from the left side of the bike. Alright, this is the rear axle nut off. I'm going to go ahead and slide through the bar. Alright, so now I'm going to be torquing down the included new axle bolt with the hole in it to 66.4 foot-pounds. Alright, next step is to just attach this puck, just like we did the first one. Alright, and that is what it looks like when it's installed. The Bagaros front slider came with these stickers. Alright guys, here's the last bit of crash protection I'm putting on. It's these metal plates. Actually, I got them off of eBay from, I think, a seller in Poland. It took me a while to find them. And I just put them on with some of this ultra black high temp gasket maker. So there's one on the other side too that's perfectly round. Just stick them right on. That's all there is to it. I didn't want to put any carbon fiber on here because I know if it gets damaged, it's just going to look like crap. Whereas this thing is just, I really don't care, and also it'd be easy to paint it. So that's why I chose these. Alright guys, so I'm going to tell you a little follow-up after some test rides, what I had to do. For one, the mirrors, I had to take off these straps that they came with. They're not super great mirrors, they're kind of cheap. And
these straps just completely fell apart. So they're on there with like trash bag ties right now. So, and they seem to be a much better solution for holding them in place. Also, the handlebars, I switched out the handlebar mounts. The handlebars seemed like a little bit crooked to me, and it was kind of driving me nuts. But when I took them apart, I realized there's like a rubber bushing in there, and that was just off a little bit. And I did not need to buy a new mount. It was I bought it from like BRP or BRAP or something. It was like $150. It's on there now. Didn't need it. I think I could have just taken it apart and put it back together, and the handlebars would have been straight. So if you ever want to change your mount out because you think your handlebars are crooked, check that out first. Also, I wired an Optimate battery charger. It's hanging a little bit hidden on the right side of the battery. And I undid the Rottweiler plug because I briefly put a really cheap muffler on this bike just to see one. It was like an eBay $50 muffler, universal. I'm like, now give it a shot. And it like flowed a lot of air. It was like, if you just want like a straight pipe, basically, that thing is where you want to go. But when I rode it with that combination of those two pieces, a new muffler, flowing massive air, and the O2 sensor disconnected, basically, the bike was stalling while I was riding it. It wasn't good. So I brought the bike back. I took the plug off from Rottweiler, and I put the stock exhaust back on. The bike's crazy fast as it is, so I'm just going to ride like this for a while. Also, it was super freaking loud. I didn't like it at all. So that's like the update. So that's the current state of it after a couple test rides. All right, thanks guys.